Hey, let's do up some Rice Krispie treats. We got half a stick of butter and one 10-ounce bag of mini marshmallows in the pan. We're going to take and warm that up. Always bring fire. Gas stove. Now you want to do this on low, and although they say use a 2-quart pot, I've got my 2-gallon pot. Only because Rice Krispies is like hard to stir. Just hard to stir. We gotta melt this all up. And while we're doing that, we'll have a little remembrance. Mom and Dad had a little summer cottage down in Lake Ontario. And one of the things Dad did was he put a little mudroom on the back of the building. And it was just this one little great room. And really good, but not the best. Still just became a collector of junk. So what Dad did was he and I went up one day, bunch of lumber. We took one corner and we put in a little cupboard. And while we're doing that, we're listening to Car Talk on NPR because funny. If you never had a chance to see it, you definitely missed something in your life. Because it was funny as all get go with Click and Clack the Tappet Brothers. These were things that we always did. We had a lot of fun. I was always at Dad's heels, doing something, creating something, because you never know. You should learn how to do this because you're not always going to have a man in the house to do things for you. So you should learn how to. And just fill the blank. And we were building this, making some noise. Nobody else was there. It was a chilly spring day. And in Western New York, on Lake Ontario, definitely chilly. So Dad made up some coffee. And I'm hammering away on something. He was going to check the coffee and brought me a cup. Took one sip of that cup. And it was like, whoa! It's like, good stuff, huh? He'd put a little whiskey in it. Like, a lot of whiskey in it. And we finished our project. And these are things that you remember. Why? Because they're fun. They're with Dad. And he's not around anymore. So, yeah. It's one thing about him. He desperately loved Mom. He could be a jerk at times, but he definitely, there was no doubt about anyone's mind that he was in love with my mom. Mom didn't always feel the same at times, but I don't think anything could have ever swayed him from not loving her. So, we are almost mixed. Our marshmallows, because mini marshmallows are easier to work with. Just saying. A lot easier. They melt a lot faster. We've got a nice low heat. And we're almost there. Yeah. So, there we go. Now we need some vanilla. Need about a teaspoon. Look at my pot while I pull out my teaspoons. One of these is a teaspoon. There we go. I've got metal ones. I've got plastic ones. I've got some where the writing is no longer on it. I like a little extra vanilla. Why? Because I'm a vanilla junkie. So we are just about all set. Now, I do something a lot of people don't. And I put a lining in my pan, my 9x13. I'm a huge fan of parchment paper. If you've never used it, start. You can line brownie pans and lift your pan, lift stuff right out of the pan. You can take and take, oh my gosh, cookies. Now comes the fun part. We got 6 cups of, generous cups of Rice Krispies in here. And sometimes you gotta work pretty quick. The bigger pan is a lot nicer to work with. Just saying. There we go. You get better, even distribution of heat across the bottom of your pan. You got nicer setups. Let's go right in the sink. There we've got our parchment lined pan. And it won't sit still. That's okay. Take and grab our silicone scraper. Highly recommend silicone scrapers. They can take the heat. And in we go. Then these will just have to solid up. And we'll be all set. Still trying to figure out whether Rice Krispie treats are breakfast cereal or breakfast food or a treat. But that's okay. You can see the bottom of my pan. It's been well loved. And you can get the majority out. And then just press them in. Some people do it with their hands. I use my spatula because it's sticky. It's marshmallows. And just turn that around. One thing you can't do is you can't do Rice Krispie treats in the summer. If it's really humid, they will melt. And Cocoa Krispies, for as good as they are, they have a tendency to stay softer. Some people like to throw a little bit of peanut butter in here. I have no problem with that. And of course, I've got immaculately clean hands. Always wash. Wash, wash, wash. Matter of fact, we're going to dip right now. Anytime working in this kitchen, I always have a dishpan of soapy water, because you never know what you're going to need to mix. You never know what you're going to need to do next. And there we go. Now, we wait. And if I remember how to do this right, we'll be able to take a peek at these in a little bit. And here we are about 15-20 minutes later. They're cool enough to go whoop, right out of the pan. Best part about it, pan is clean. No washing necessary. If you've never invested in this, this is the most handy tool you can ever have in your kitchen. Multi-purpose. You can use it to cut your squares. You can use it to cut your brownies. Drop an egg on the floor. You know what kind of mess that makes. Just scoop it right up, right into the garbage. You're all set. Hopefully you're not dropping eggs right now. They're too expensive. They should come with their own little bubble wrap or something. But now you just take, got a nice surface. And right down in the middle. Some people like to put a little silicone spray on there, or like Pam or whatever, canola oil, and you can do that. But it's just marshmallow, and it really comes apart pretty easy. The other way. And you make them as big or little as you want. I still think that Rice Krispie treats are nothing more than glorified breakfast food. When I was working one time at a bakery, any leftover cookies that were stale by the end of the week brought home. And of course, I had oatmeal raisin, and my daughter was 2. And what do you want for breakfast? She wanted a cookie. What's granola? Oatmeal raisins. Nuts. What are oatmeal cookies? Oatmeal raisins. No nuts. Sure, have a cookie. They were as big as your face. She'd eat about half of it. Be happy. It was a Saturday morning treat. What the heck? Might as well enjoy. So there we go. Real quick, real simple, real tasty. Right into the sink that goes. Now I'm going to line them up on the plate. And what I've done is I've taken some wax paper to put in between, because it just makes it easier to get it to lay flat. I just fold it up the middle. That way they don't stick, because nobody likes them when they're stuck. Well, they do, because then they get more. And we've got all sizes for all appetites. Got one last one here. Put these last couple on. There we go. And 2 more. There we go. And you could keep that if you wanted. But the stuff is relatively inexpensive, and it is biodegradable. Do it to it. Enjoy. It's been fun, and we'll see you a different time.